Thank you very much for joining us again on TVC Breakfast. Well, the United Kingdom is a prime destination for foreign investment, offering a stable and business-friendly environment. With its highly developed economy, innovative culture and strategic location, the UK provides numerous opportunities for investors, and several sectors offer promising investment opportunities, including technology and digital, financial services, as well as life sciences, renewable energy and manufacturing, where investors can choose from various investment opportunities, including startups and scale-ups, real estate, infrastructure, and private equity. The U.S. government also offers various incentives such as tax relief, grants, and funding to support innovation, exports, and regional growth. Streamlined visa processes for entrepreneurs and investors can facilitate investment. Joining us now is British Nigerian Chartered Accountant Olanrewaju Sharafa, and we thank you very much for joining us on the program. Right, it's good to see you,
so
in person, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Right, so our conversation is also coming at a time when the U.S. Foreign Secretary, came visiting to Nigeria, also talking about how both sides, both nations can optimize growth, and so to speak. Help us better understand what Nigerians stand to gain from investing in the UK.
Thank you so much, Kemi. I think thank you for bringing me back to CVC, and it's always a pleasure to join you to speak on your show. First of all, we need to appreciate that we are now in a global world. The world is now very small. Opportunities are enormous. People can look for opportunity globally, and the world is very small, in which case we need to look for areas or every means to tap into opportunity everywhere. One of the places that Nigerians can be looking at is to tap into opportunity in the UK. The UK proximity to Nigeria is about 6 hours on direct flight, and the two countries has a long tie. There's a long-term relationship between Nigeria and the UK. So people like us who live in the UK, we've seen some opportunities for SMEs, for small businesses to move their branch office to the UK. We see opportunity for, innovative ideas to spring up in the UK. In fact, it will interest you to know that the new conservative leader, she's a Nigerian, Kemi Badnoch. So, in short, I think this is the right time for Nigeria to think about what can be done in the UK.
Why do we have to invest in the UK when they always say there are numerous opportunities here in Nigeria? Why should one take his hard-earned money here and invest in the UK?
It's a very important question. I think the answer to the question is always provided in the boardroom, and perhaps looking at several numbers, including the company's management accounts. You look at the position of the company, you look at the financial stability, you look at the vision, the mission, the aspiration of the company. Does the company intend to expand globally? Does it intend to have a reach, in developed economy? If the answer is yes, then you now consider factors such as, which is the largest playing economy, or which is the huge playing economy, which economy has a long-term democracy, stable, political, environment. So therefore, you want to start to think about, the UK. But this is not something you just wake up one morning and make a decision. Chartered accountant professionals will come together, look at the company number, prepare a report that we call management report or management account. Then the management account, together with the aspiration of the founding father of the business, we then guide you as to how to move forward.
Okay, and of course, tied to that question would be funding, for example, because you've spoken about SMEs and what they could, benefit, but, funding is a big issue for SME owners here in Nigeria.
You're very correct. The only thing I can say about funding is that sometimes money is important, but I think innovation is extremely important. If you have money, but you are not innovative, it's so easy to waste the money. But if you have an innovative idea, an idea that is often refers to as a new idea, something that you can, of course, create a niche within the UK economy, for example. You can therefore, start to talk to investors, and you can talk to people who can help you, including family members who can help you to see how that idea can, see the light of the day. And evidence for that is that prior to this time, there used to be a visa called the Innovator Visa. The UK government then say this visa, Innovator Visa, is a visa where you need £50,000 to invest in the UK economy. Later, that visa was changed to Innovator Founder, and the £50,000 requirement was eliminated, recognizing the fact that it is not the money that is necessary, but it is the innovation that is important. If you have an innovative idea, something extremely creative, you just need to talk to an endorsing body, and that will be endorsed, and you can bring that your business into the UK.
Are there other incentives that you're using to attract investors from Nigeria to the UK?
There are incentives. There are incredible incentives, one of which includes the idea that if you can bring an innovative idea into the UK, create opportunities, and of course, those innovative ideas meet certain requirements, including viability, scalability, and of course, meet the growth requirements. It would be expected that after 3 years of you being an innovator founder, or after being 3 years of you setting up that company in the UK, you will then have the right to apply for settlement. Of course, that's what we call the indefinite leave to remain. And after your indefinite leave to remain, you can therefore apply for a British passport. And after 3 years. So one would argue that today the Innovator Founder Visa is the shortest route to becoming a British citizen as far as all other pathway is concerned.
Right, but okay, the Nigerian government would also be raising eyebrows, at this, wondering, or rather, the question I want to ask is, how will this benefit Nigeria? Because we're already having a strain on critical sectors in the economy, health, for example, but now we are now saying, okay, you could have another opportunity, quicker opportunity for you to travel, relocate abroad, become a citizen or thereabout. But the Nigeria now, the Nigerian interest, how do you address these concerns?
I think for me, I don't have a problem with people going out to see what's going on out there. I don't have a problem with that. And I would often argue that, identity, culture, background, where we are from, we can't separate ourselves from all of this. Regardless of how long you stay abroad, you will still come back home one day, and that will not change you. Today, we are British citizens. We thank God for the UK government for giving us that opportunity to grow, to live and thrive in that economy. But we're back home today trying to see what we can do for our country. The likes of Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu schooled abroad in Chicago. The likes of, all other leaders that we know in this country, they schooled abroad. At some point, they were abroad to see what's going on out there. I think international exposure is very important for entrepreneurs, for political leaders, for individuals who want to, widen their horizon. So I don't have problem with people going out. And I argue, and in fact, it will be interesting to know that we also promote culture, or I also promote culture. And one of the things I say is that you cannot separate yourself from your background, from where you're coming from. It's just difficult. You will not just, even though the UK government has what we call British value, where equality and diversities and all of that are key, you will just know that you are a black man. There's nothing you can do about it. You are a black British Nigerian. So the idea is that going into the UK to set up a business, tapping into international markets, making your product becoming a global product, does not necessarily mean that you will not be in Nigeria. It doesn't mean that you will not come back and do something for Nigeria. It just means that you are following your business mission, business vision, business aspiration. You are therefore expanding on your business objective to tap into international market. Therefore,
what's the essence of going to the UK to set up and wanting to come back?
Well, you are only looking for a niche. You're trying to cater for international market. Now, for example, I know Nigerians who live in the UK who will still patronize Nigerian products. They will still buy the Nigerian gari, they will still buy the Nigerian, noodles, they will still buy the Nigerian product. So somebody needs to think about how these goods will get there. And indirectly or directly, it helps us net us our foreign direct investment and all of the figures. So we have, balance of trade and all of that. So it's such a wise idea.
Okay, so tell us some more about, what you're offering. Now that you are here, what form of support are you, lending to people in need?
Sure, that's a good question. That's going back to the question earlier on that. Why should a business move from Nigeria to the UK? You can't just wake up one day to want to do that. You need that, expert who can, of course, help you with the idea, help with you with the location, help you in terms of the, immigration side of it, help you in terms of endorsement. What do we refer to as endorsement? Prior to this moment, the UK government, via their visa department, have always been the one to look at your business plan.
Yeah.
But they realize that we are not an expert in business plan. We are just an immigration people who issue visas. So we don't want to be involved in business plan. So they now have an organization called Endorsing Body. They endorse them to endorse entrepreneur. So now you need to submit yourself to the endorsing body. The endorsing body will then endorse your business idea. So part of what I can do is to help you, support you to get an endorsing body who will then endorse your business plan, sit with you as your strategic consultant or business consultant to ensure that you get endorsed so you can get your visa.
Okay, and this is primarily for those people who want to enter through the
Innovator Founder Visa.
Innovator Founder Visa.
Correct.
I see.
All right, so there's one issue that many people have said has been a bane in investing in the UK, and that's the issue of racism. Has that been addressed?
Well, I have to say this to you. I've lived in the UK for over 10 years, or for about 10 years. And all that I know about the UK people is that they are very welcoming.
So no slur, no side comments about you being black?
No.
Coming to take over our country?
No, and I have to, on that note, use that opportunity to thank the British people for that, for being accommodating, for being kind, for all that they do for all the race, all different communities, people from Ghana, Zimbabwe, Congo, Malawi, Nigeria, and of course the UK people. The UK is very accommodating, and it's often rare to see, issues like racism. There's no place for that in the UK, and I'm extremely proud to be, a British.
But then, of course, we have also seen moves by the government. First it was Trump, pro-American and all of that. But then we've also seen moves by the U.S. government in trying to cut down on immigration numbers. And, Nigeria is affected. I wonder where this sits in line with this drive for more Nigerians to invest more in the UK.
Okay, we need to get this correct, that net migration number is part of, key theme that any government will look into. So no government will leave the net migration number to skyrocket. So, of course, there has to be control when it comes to net migration number. The UK government has a policy around that. But the honest truth is that there are some pathway that drives the economy. And that pathway includes the Innovator Founder Visa, which, of course, has a huge place when we speak about SMEs and the role of small businesses in the economy. And I think that will not change. There will be room for business owners to bring their business to the UK. There will be opportunity for them to thrive, succeed, and make the UK their home.
Of course, an opportunity to Japa from Nigeria, right?
Well, that's the concept. It's called Japa, but I don't call it Japa. It is a concept.
Japa.
It is a concept. It is a concept. It is a concept that is coined out of people who don't know what they intend to achieve in the UK. They just want to move away. When I left Nigeria, for example, I left to study masters in corporate governance, and I knew exactly what I was going to the UK to do. And today, to the glory of God, that's exactly what we're doing. So we did in Japa. So I would strongly say, don't use the word Japa. Just focus on exploring international opportunity.
All right. But then, okay, so in terms of contrasts, right, the Nigerian market, the British market, what sticks out for you? What would you like to see changed here?
Well, honestly, when I returned, I came to Nigeria, a couple of days ago, And I noticed that the government is trying to, achieve a digitalized economy,
right.
especially within the banking sector. And, I realized that there is limited cash. Even though there's no proper communication, that what we're trying to achieve is to get things digitalized. You still go to the bank, you see crowd, and there is no cash, fine, it's okay. But also the bank has a role to play in terms of making sure that when you set up account for people, they have the online facility almost immediately. There's no point setting account for people and then they have to come back again to come and queue again to kind of, get banking activity done and get stranded. So I think the government is trying to achieve a digitalized economy. A digitalized economy will go a long way for Nigeria and it will mean so much for...
Is it working in terms of, the country now? Are we on the right path now to making this place safe and conducive for investments?
Well, I think the government has a role to play, but citizens has even more bigger role to play. What I see in this country is that the population is so massive, and we tend to be milking ourselves. We tend to be cheating ourselves. The government are playing their role, but we also need to play our role as citizens. I ordered for bread, and I saw what was in the bread. I'm like, what is this? Is this bread? There is practically nothing in the bread. And I was even like, should I have ordered bread from London and bring it to the government is not the bakery owner. The government is not the one that is... So right. We as citizens should stop milking ourselves. We should stop ripping off ourselves because the population is a big advantage to us as Nigeria. We still need entrepreneurs to invest in this country to cater for this population because everybody has a need. We need services. We need providers. I can see the Uber working. When I left Nigeria, there was nothing like Uber. There was nothing like delivery service. There was nothing like logistics like that. I can see all of that. But we now need to stop ripping ourselves. We need to offer services that, befit or that suit everybody's needs. And we need government to then intervene to regulate all the service provider companies so that people don't rip each other out. In UK, we have what we call Consumer Protection Act that protect consumers.
All right. So in all of this now, what can we learn from the example of the UK post-Brexit?
There's a lot to learn. It's a developed economy. There's a lot to learn. The only thing is that we must always try to compare likes to likes. It is not okay to put Nigeria beside the UK. This is a developed economy and developing economy. But having said that, there are so much that our leaders can learn from developed economy. I'd expect, for example, that a local government chairman here in Nigeria should model the innovator visa concept. Because look at the concept of an innovator visa. In the era where it used to be £50,000 you need to invest, if one local government in the UK or a borough in the UK, if they have 10 innovator founders in that local government, that means they've successfully brought in £50,000 in 10 places. That's a lot of money, just one local government. So if you imagine...
This particular visa is a national project.
It's a national project, but of course, each borough we have innovators. Government could give quotas for innovators in each borough. So imagine each borough have 10 innovator founder visas who have brought close to about £100 million into the economy, times 10. That's a lot of money. So I'd expect local government chairman here in the UK to model that idea, invite investors, ask people to bring
in Nigeria,
and then encourage them. Here in Nigeria, what happened? Do we encourage investors or we discourage? We even discourage them. When they have a car park, we go and be taxing them. We break their walkway. We go and lock it up. These are people who are creating jobs. We don't even encourage them. We need to look for incentive. That can even be done by local government and say, can you give me the list of companies that are in our local government? What can we do to incentivize them so they can be in business, so they can continue to be in the business? You can see what Alhaji Dangote is facing in the NNPC, and all of that. So all these things would discourage investors. We need to always encourage investors, give them incentives for them to try, for them to succeed, and achieve what they want to achieve as a company.
Sorry, but in saying give them incentive, what form of incentive are you talking?
Well, it could be in any form. Government incentive can be in any form. It could be in form of tax holiday. Government incentive can be in form of, mascot. In the UK, we had what we call bounce back loan. You could have SME loans, you could have event for them, you could have training for them. So government incentive can come in different way for SMEs and for entrepreneurs. You can also set up grants for them. And also you can route support for SMEs via university. That I have not seen in Nigeria. You can route support. In fact, when the endorsement of entrepreneurs started in the UK, university used to endorse graduates on the program. So the point I'm trying to make is that we should be seeing university playing an active role in supporting SMEs and small and medium scale enterprises, because the university contributes to research and development in any economy. And the whole idea of entrepreneur is research and capacity building or development.
All right. A fine place to rest our conversation. Olanrewaju Sharafa, thanks a lot for speaking with us.
Thank you so much.
On TVC Breakfast.